we are live. Right. So this is a Weedwife's remedy, and we are on part 11 today. We are going to be talking about the mugwort, a plant called mugwort, or Latin name Artemisia vulgaris. I hope everyone is doing good out there. Let's see, did I bookmark it? Yeah, so it's page 45 if you're following along with the book. Hi, Pansy. How are you today? I have no idea why I decided to do book club today. We had to say goodbye to our cat Horace this week on Tuesday, and it's been very difficult. But it's good to try to do things that you normally would do. He had this crazy, like, fast-growing cancer. It was insane. He had like 2 vet appointments before it. So our little sweet boy is not with us anymore. I don't want to talk too much because I'll just start bawling. Yeah. Oh, God. I've never had to do that quite before, and it was really difficult. So we have his brother Eugene, and they were sort of like yin and yang, and now we're sort of totally unbalanced. So it sucks, and it feels like we miss him a lot. Yeah, little guy, big presence. So, but I brought the tissues just in case. But if I start crying, it just will be crazy. So, that happened on Tuesday. Here's Eugene. I have mugwort down here, so he's gonna be interested in it. Eugene, you wanna hop up? No. It's like, no, just came to say hi. I'm like, okay. All right. So mugwort is starting to come up in my area. That's tough to go through. I'm sending my love. Thank you. Yeah, it was, oh my gosh, it was insane. It was insane. It still is insane. And it's been really tough. Man. I mean, he was just, having him there, especially at night, he would sit between us on the couch when we'd like watch TV or play video games, or he would sit between us when we read on the bed. It's just, he was a sweet guy. Okay. So, one of the things you can do with mugwort is make smudge sticks. These are supposed to go on my shop, but they haven't made it in yet. I made these in the fall when I don't know if you can see the little tiny flowers on them, like these guys. So it's like, I don't know if it'll focus. Focus for a minute. Thank you, Aline. I started doing different color string. That's new. And then I have some organic hemp as well. Oh, yeah. So this is the organic hemp. And I figured it would be cool to, yeah, so this is like a smudge. It's a protection herb. I find it very calming. It's like the stage of the, oh, wait, Pansy, I have bigger ones to show you guys. Because, this is the time I usually make them. I make them when they have the flowers on them. It makes them fuller. It just, like, the right, a really right amount of water content is in the plant itself. So they're easy to dry. I wrap them fresh. I've got a mugwort smudge stick making video on my channel, which is like my most popular video. How much are we selling them for? It depends on the length. And they're supposed to be in my shop, and they're not there yet because I have to take pictures of the new ones. So, you know, this one could be like $10 or $12. But then I have ones I can't ship because they're like this. And I can't, they're very messy. Yeah, I can't even ship this guy. It's insane. So I'll have to, like, I was going to wholesale it in our local witchy shop. But I can't right now because they're closed. Like, it's huge. I don't even know what that is. So the reason some of them are so big is because I harvest them before I harvested these. But this is the best time I found. And it's a good length. This is a really good length. And they do vary because some of them are, like, this one's bigger. So I know I really have to get on to it. But if you're interested, Pansy, I can, you know, just let me know. Like, I've got some colors too. There's another organic stuff. It's just colored string. I can do that probably next week. List them up. I just have to take some pictures and measure and make all the stuff you can make too with that one. Yeah, and that's what I've been doing. I've been cutting, actually, because these are so huge, I've been cutting them and making smaller bundles, which I used as at a craft fair, which sold really well. So I'll probably, like, continue doing that, and so I'll have, like, small guys. Hi, Dean. Look, it's Eugene. Hello. Anyway, so if you're interested in, like, making them yourself, watch my video. And then if you're interested in buying any, just let me know in the comments when this uploads. You can email me, and then it's something I need to do anyway, put it on my shop. So so it's, yeah, so, like, you have the white sage in the west, but here where I'm in the southeast, we have the mugwort, and they probably have it out west too. But I find it very calming. I think it's supposed to be an herb of protection when you burn it. I really like it. Cats love it. So be careful if you have kitties. They go crazy for it. Although he's not really interested in it right now, which is weird. So, yeah. And it grows like crazy. The reason I have so much is because it took over my friend's garden. So, and the reason that I got the big ones and I harvest them early is because she was like, I'm going to tarp them over so I can have a garden. And she never did. she did half. So I had 2 harvests. And yeah, but anyway, so that's my fun mugwort project. And I have a ton. So yeah, I took my bookmark out. Oh my gosh. I got my board in there. Maybe he's sad. I don't know. He was really moody yesterday. Oh, thank you. Yeah, the kitties like the mugwort. I don't know. They like the scent. They also like valerian, so they like the smell of that. So, yeah, I can't tell. Hi Heather. You're working. Was out wandering around the yard aimlessly and well, don't do that. You already missed all the awesome mugwort smudge sticks, Heather. Ooh. Whee! And Eugene. Oh, and take a load of the big ones. Woo! But you didn't miss too much. So, but you really, I let it go crazy. If you can really just, it grows. It's like a weed. It's like a weed. It just grows everywhere, and even a tiny bit of the root breaks off. It'll grow a whole plant. So you have to be really careful. My friend, that's what happened in her garden, and unless you want a whole garden full of mugwort, which is what I want, but my friend would like to plant some vegetables. So, you know, but that is, yeah. Anyway, mugwort's really versatile. You can burn it as smudge, you can eat it, and then it's also medicinal. So in a lot of Japanese recipes, they use it in food. And somewhere have a recipe for mugwort mochi. But anyway, yeah, you can just look up. Does it grow in the sun or shade or both? It grows in the sun. Yeah, because my friend's garden is not shaded at all, so it'll grow in the sun. I mean, Elaine, you probably have it up there. I believe it is not native to the United States. Okay, Heather says it'll grow in semi-shade too. Yeah, it just grows. It just grows. I've seen huge like soccer fields full of it. Like they were mowing it, but I knew what it was, and I was like, oh my gosh, this whole field is covered in it, But a lot of people don't want it to grow to the height that it needs to grow until like September, October, where it flowers and where you want to make some sticks too. So, but yeah. But right now, you can use it for like the medicine and other purposes because it's just starting to grow and everything else. So, all right. Yeah, I think we do, but I haven't found any. I'm growing it from seed this year. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Yeah, cool. Well, this chapter will be good then. Let's get up the light. All right, so we're going to be, before I start, I just want to, Heather sent me these. Hi, Kendra, how are you? So Heather sent me these 2 books as a gift a long time ago, and I meant to mention them on the book club, and I forgot, and then they're just in a pile. So the first book I actually have, but I have like an older copy of it that's not in great shape. which is a really fun book. It's The Herbalist. And it is, since it's used, it had a card in it, which is fun. It is copyrighted. So the first edition was 1918. This is the 11th printing of printed in 1976. So, by Joseph E. Meyer. Anyway, yeah, that's the cover without the dust jacket on. And it's a real fun book because it, you know, if you're interested in like history and herbal history, and this is like botanicals used in smoke mixes. It's got all kinds of stuff. It's got a, you know, description of the plants. You can still find copies of this book around. What else? Let's see. Botanicals used to color food, cosmetics. It's got a yeah, it does have, yes, Heather, it does have great illustrations. It's got some color ones in the back as well. It's got some really neat recipes, which I think, like, and information, which I think you can still, like, it's got, like, if you're going to dye anything, it's got, like, dyes for yellow and blue and, like, things that I haven't seen in other herb books, black. Botanical breath sweeteners. It's got, so, probably some of the information is out of date, you know, because it's so old, but vitamins, minerals, how to do infusions, decoctions. This is nerve stimulants, for sedatives, all kinds of stuff. Diuretics, gator tonics. So it's really fun. Oh, the name. It's The Herbalist. Yeah. And it's an old book, but it's not, you should be able to find it. So I'm happy to have a second copy for sure. And then this one is Ancient Healing Secrets, which I've never heard of. This is a new one for me, and actually I haven't had a chance to read this one at all. Practical herbal remedies from around the world that work today. So it looks like it's got stuff from, like, it's broken down into like back pain, boils. So you can look it up by issues, hoarseness, influenza. And it's basically insect bites, when the first domesticated horse was brought from Asia to Europe and Arabia in 2000 BC, his importers also brought along native oats to feed the animals. Later, the oats became a major crop. So it's got some history talking about, let's see what it says. From the beginning of time, people have turned to nature to find ways to heal themselves. Many of those remedies from around the world are revealed in Ancient Healing Secrets. This useful and fascinating book offers safe, simple, and inexpensive ways to brew tonics and teas, discover the remarkable power of healing plants and oils, hundreds of practical secrets from ancient China, Britain, Europe, Scandinavia. So it'd be really fun. Author of The Herbalist. Author is that is him. Yeah, Heather said they thought it had some interesting ideas. Yes. So it is really interesting to hear like what other cultures might have done in the past. You know, just some more like background history. Africans, South Africans, and Caribbean islanders often shake powdered cayenne pepper into a wound. This dotting of the wound stings, but the vitamin C-rich powdered cayenne coagulates the blood and quickly forms a healing scar. So, so that's cool. So I just wanted to thank Heather, and hopefully I'll have some time to like dive into this guy and just, and then the other one is also really cool. But that was, before I forgot again. So, all right, on to the mugwort, page 45, guys. They do sound cool. Yeah. A little ethnobotany. So, and the other one is just like that, an old herb book that people used to use, like for, you know, for health issues and everything else. So, okay, so tattered and silver-leafed mugwort as the Weedwife's talisman. So, botanical name is Artemisia vulgaris, and then she has a few other ones. Common name Una. Old woman, Louisiana sage, western mugwort, silver sage, sagewort. It taste is bitter, aromatic, and slightly sweet. I really love the smell. It's got a diaphoretic action, which makes you sweat, a diuretic action, which makes you pee, carminative, which helps the stomach. It's a hepatoprotective, which helps protect your liver, relaxant, nervine, antimicrobial, hepatic, relaxant, I guess, which relaxes your liver, antispasmodic, and anti-inflammatory, emmenagogue, and clears heat. And I forgot what emmenagogue meant. And specific indications, so why would you might use a mugwort? Stagnation, inflammation, nervous overstimulation, hepatic and or digestive weakness, enema due to cirrhosis and or hepatic inflammation / weakness. So it sounded like it would be good for like someone who is making alcoholic. I've mostly used mugwort as the smudge sticks. And then I would probably like use it as a food. So the parts used are the leaves, flowering tops, and roots. Here is a little quote. Remember, mugwort, that you made known, that you arranged at the great proclamation. You were called Una, the oldest of herbs. You have power against thee and against 30. You have power against 3 and against 30. You have power against poison, against infection. You have power against loathsome foe roaming through the land. This is translated from Old English, and I cannot pronounce the author's name, but it's called The 9 Herbs Charm. And I'm going to, oh, hey Pansy, welcome back. I'm going to put the author's name up, but I just can't pronounce it. That's pretty good. Here's the, it's a good one. That's a good name. And this is by, next quote is by Julie Burton Seal and Matthew Seal from, I guess, the book Hedgerow Medicine. Mugwort, it will be clear by now, has had something of a dangerous past at the hazy margin of sacred and secular culture. Indeed, from a time when there was no distinction made between the two. So that's pretty cool. It does feel like it has that secular and sacred quality to it. I would definitely say. I've always thought of Artemisia as a hooded figure at a crossroad. Aildi Fa? Oh my god. So this is the common name I'm trying to pronounce, but I think it means old woman. So we're just going to not try to pronounce that. In her long skirts, jogging through desert sand. Her fingers still stained with southern swamp mud, unremarkable and unmistakable all at once. This is a medicine of the downtrodden and the uncanny, an herb of which is to be sure, but most likely to be found in the hands of the elusive, yet not so common Weedwife, that gathers her herbs from dooryards and fields to treat those who need it most. Called Una, it's another common name. The mother and oldest of all herbs by the Anglo-Saxons. So I'm pretty sure it came over from England or, Europe, and considered a gift directly from their ancestor and god, Woden? Oh my god, this is the word. Mugwort is designed as both sacred and powerful by numerous cultures throughout known history. You're as likely to see it in simple medicinal vinegars for treating poison ivy as you are in elaborate magical preparations for protection, divination, or vivid dreaming. So yeah, it's also, a lot of people put mugwort in dream pillows. So it's supposed to help with your dreams, have more vivid dreams. I do also make an infused oil from this plant as. Within lies the power and charm of any Artemisia to go from mundane to otherworldly in the briefest flicker of a candle, and to be able to walk the space between with a feral grace that only weeds can flame. Her mantle is silvered by moonlight and tattered from the long journey, her basket heavy with secrets and roadside roots. Artemisias are not uncommon in clinical practice in North America, but what really defines them, sets them apart from many popular herbs of commerce, is their nearly ubiquitous appearance in the hands of wise women and root doctors, folk herb healers, and traditional medicine people. As a medicine, as magic, as a talisman that connects us back to the very foundation of our work and role as matchmakers between people and plants. Artemisias have long been a favorite among native people, traveling healers, root workers, and old fairy doctors for its broad range of uses and dependable availability. Its effects include the reproductive, digestive, urinary, and nervous systems, a stubborn emblem of folk medicine in the West. Their shimmering silver-green foliage persists under the hot New Mexican sun summer long after all other greenery has withered and crisped. Cooling and bitter, this plant is rich in vitamins and minerals, including vitamin B complex, necessary for a healthy nervous system and emotional stability, and also contains copious amounts of vitamin C, vitamin A, calcium, potassium, phosphorus, and iron. So another way to, like, if you wanted to get the mineral content out of your herbs, you would make a vinegar with this plant, and that vinegar extracts the minerals. So the Artemisia genus is one I've learned about from a number of different cultures, traditions, angles, and places. There's nothing simple about this silver-leafed enigma. For as long as humans have been recording their knowledge of plant medicine, they've been writing about whatever Artemisia they've come across. Given the intense amount of lore around this particular genus, it seems certain that we humans have been talking about and passing on wisdom regarding these plants for far longer than the written word has been in existence. So that is our friend Mugwort. And as you can see, I forgot to, there's some growing, but you can see the undersides of the leaves here are silver. So there's some lookalikes. It also has like a distinct smell, but let's grab that baby. Ooh. So that's the under bit, and then that's the top of it. Yeah. And it just definitely has a very distinctive smell. So it's not hard to identify. There's some that look like it, but they don't have the silver underneath, and they don't have the scent. So it's not it. But I'm not really 100% sure on all of the lookalikes or anything else. Does anyone else like do anything with the mugwort? You know that Elaine is starting it from seed. Heather probably has some. Something you do you use this? I drink it. Okay, with the tea. Okay, cool. So Kendra, do you just like use it like straight, like a straight mugwort tea, or do you mix it with something and then do you drink it? I don't have it growing. I wish I did. How would you describe the scent? Oh, well, I think she really, it's kind of sweet, and musky. Yeah, that's how I would describe it. Kendra, I think where you're moving to, you should have mugwort around. I don't know if mugwort is in Florida. I have a blend a friend gave me with dandelion and mugwort and add honey and lemon. Awesome. That sounds great. Do you take it? Do you take it for any specific reason, or do you just take it for like drink it for flavor? That would be really good for your liver. That would be really good for. Okay. Okay. I'm having liver issues. Yeah. So that would be really good for supporting your liver. You could also throw in milk thistle. Trying to detox from all the pain meds. Okay. Yeah, I would. You could also throw in milk thistle. Or if you're finding that the dandelion is too strong, I would then switch it out with milk thistle because it's gentler. Yes. Okay, cool. You know, when you detox, you want to just start slow. You don't want to overwhelm your liver that's probably already overwhelmed, but awesome. Cool. How do you cook it? For anyone who is thinking of like making a similar tea, how do you prepare it? Because it sounds like a great blend. And both of them are really common. So you could probably just harvest it up yourself. Except the milk thistle, I actually don't know much about that plant, too much about like as far as growing, as far as harvesting. Oh, you use it in incense mix. Okay, yeah. Elaine uses it in incense, which would be similar to doing the smudge. You know, you could do it in like a loose incense too. Yeah, you just dry it. I would definitely use it with something else that burns a little long. Like if you don't keep it lit, you know, just kind of. I find like it's a little hard to get this started, and also it kind of like goes a little everywhere. But once you get it started, it goes really good. But it's a little more persnickety than like a sage if you're used to a sage. But on a charcoal round, it would probably burn pretty well. It's really dried and crumbly, and I put it in a tea ball and put hot water over it, let it steep, add lemon honey. Okay, awesome. Because a lot of times with the roots, you need to do like a decoction. But do you do the dandelion leaf instead of the roots? I'm trying to think about which you would use for the liver. Whether you can use the leaf and the roots. The leaf. Okay. Okay, yes. So if you're using the leaf, then you don't need to do decoction. And that sounds amazing. So yeah, you can even add the milk thistle, or if this, I mean, dandelion and the mugwort will probably be great. Or you can switch out one to the other, sort of rotate it out. I'll have to look that up. Whether Susan Reed books aren't here. I sort of did some cleaning up. Let's see what Susan Reed says. I'm assuming Jitsi, your friend, knows what she's doing, or he knows what she's doing. So I'm just wondering. Root here. So Susan Weed uses the root, but you can also, let's see, there's just root. The leaf. Oh, the dandelion chapter in Susan Weed is horrible because she has that accent all the way through, and it's really hard to read. So the leaves are just a bitter. Yeah, she's an old backwoods witch. She's like 75 years old. My mom always got those from her. Okay, cool. So we're going to say that she knows what she's doing. Susan Weed says the root, but the leaves are bitter, which also helps with digestion. So I'm not. That's what Susan Weed says. But I'd say if she says to use the leaf, use the leaf. So dandelion leaves and salads. Cool. Yeah, that's good too. So I think you're doing a really good job with helping your liver and your digestive system help clear out those I love her French Dr. Dandelion. Oh my gosh, it's so awful for me to read it. Ugh. I'm like, okay, I get it, but I can't read it. I know it won't kill me. No, it will not kill you. It's really good for you. I mean, you could be like, if you overdo it with the detox, I think you would feel kind of sick and kind of like, I think you're supposed to feel like maybe like flu-like symptoms, but if you're not feeling that, I think it's cool. Again, like, I don't 100% know, was in pain meds for 15 years, been off of them for 5 years. Oh, that's great. Congratulations. It can be really hard to get off of those pain medications, especially if you have a chronic illness. And I think that's really a struggle, you know, and there's natural things you can take. They're just not as strong. Yeah, it's really tricky. And then, you know, since our country's, yeah, it's great. And then that's how people get addicted to the pain meds, because I think it's typical that herbs and diet help my chronic issues. Yes, so theoretically you want to like work on preventing chronic issues by, like, you know, having that's why your diet is so important, you know, and other things you do health wise, and but we're not really taught to do preventative medicine. So I think if we did more preventative medicine, we'd have like all these less issues, and we wouldn't have to go on these like pain medications, and wouldn't have all these chronic issues and everything else. So, but that's how we roll, especially in this country. But yeah, so learning about herbs and incorporating them in your diet, you know, can really help. Totally agree with you on preventative. Yeah. Stuff like acupuncture is great too, and, you know, yoga, all that stuff, exercise, it's all good. You don't have to go crazy. You know, if you do just a little bit of it, it adds up. That's the thing. Like, it's a thing that adds up over time, and you can say the same thing for things that are bad for you. Like, you can eat, like, you know, fast food all the time, and you're not going to notice maybe any adverse effects for a while, but they will catch up with you, and vice versa with the other way. Like, if you you know, have if you do things that are healthy for you, then you will, you know, I mean, it'll help you be healthier if you get sick, because sometimes it's unavoidable due to genetics and other things. Life is crazy, and so it'll help you be stronger for that, help you with your recovery. It also could help you prevent things that are avoidable, like, you know, things like high blood pressure and all this other stuff. So, yeah. Okay, soapbox over. But good job, Kendra. I myself do turmeric and willow bark tincture 3 times a day, and for chronic issues with inflammation and all kinds of other stuff for my digestion. So it's a lot of work, but and that's why we're learning about the herbs. Also, it's cool. Where am I? Oh yes, 47. The Mask of the Green Woman, the many names and faces of Artemisia. Call her sage, call her mugwort, call her mother. Call her whatever you like, but she'll keep changing all the same. Some folks will get uptight and irate about the many common names in this plant, berating each other for using mugwort for any species other than A. vulgaris, which is what this one is, Artemisia vulgaris. Actually, I don't know if I've seen in real life another species of mugwort. We have, I mean, this one is pretty dominant here, unless I haven't noticed. So this doesn't make much sense to me. It doesn't really follow the way in which common names are used by traditional people anyhow. Most non-woody artemisias in the southwest are collectively called sageworts, which also works fine. But there are myriad specific and general common names spread across continents, languages, and people. I do think it's important to be able to key the species out to a botanical binomial for safety's sake. But other than that, common names will keep appearing and disappearing, shifting and turning as they always have. This can be frustrating to some, but they can stick to the botanical name at least until the toxicologists start messing with them again too. Oh, I was just recommended that turmeric and willow bark. I need to check that out. Yes, it's really good. I do tinctures of both because I can't swallow pills. Turmeric will stain everything. So if you do a tincture of turmeric, use a cup you don't mind getting very yellow. But you can take capsules of each one if you'd like. And then so willow bark is what they use to make aspirin from. It's got the acid in it. And then to make aspirin, they just extracted that. And that's why the aspirin, after a while, messes with your stomach. But the willow bark you can take forever, and it shouldn't, because it's a whole root, it's a whole bark. And turmeric is a food, pretty much. So you can cook with it. A lot of Indian dishes use turmeric, but you'd have to eat a lot to get a medicinal strain. But that's why there are certain diseases in India are way less, because they eat so much turmeric in their cooking. But yeah, it's really funny when I hear that, when I have to explain to people about willow bark and how that's what they used to make aspirin from. That's what, and they didn't know. And I was like, this is something I've known for ever. But because my dad likes to tell me these random factoids, so that was one of them that I just knew. But I was like, what do you? Okay. So I mean, some people they just don't know. I don't do pills now either. Tinctures are good. Cool. Okay. Yeah, and I started making my own too. Oh, I was supposed to go over the tincture sheet. Because I posted up the weight to volume tincture sheet, but I wanted to go over it because I feel like some of the bits need some explanation. But when I'm finished with these tinctures, I'm going to do a video. So I'm going to do a straining out video of these tinctures, and when I remake them, I'll do a video so that everyone will have a video. But I might go over that next week. I don't know. Remind me if I forget. Depends how we go this week. But yeah, what I do, Gypsy, is I grate fresh turmeric. You're gonna have to go to a Whole Foods. Oh, thanks, Elaine. Yeah, Marge was like, do a video of it. So I can do that because you don't need a sink. My kitchen's really small, so anyway, so I should be able to do that home. But so I mean, you can buy it. The turmeric tincture, they get expensive, so it'd be cheaper. It could be cheaper to make it, but yeah. So a specialty store like Whole Foods would have it. Ours has it most of the time. Most of the, either they have organic or non-organic. I just get whatever they have. The willow bark is willow bark, just, you know, and I get it from like Mountain Rose and stuff like that. So you can probably get it on Amazon too. Anyway, that's what I do. Yeah, I don't make it out of the dried turmeric, so it's fresh. And I don't know why. I just thought, like, sometimes I'm like, I do stuff and I feel like I don't know why I do them, like, but I don't know if you can use the dried turmeric. I would use the fresh, or you can buy it if you can't find it, because it can be tricky to find. Usually they have it by the ginger, and it's this yellow orange root, and it's indistinctive. Yeah. Instinctive, yeah. I don't know. I think some of it is, because I never thought about that. I'm like, why do I always use that fresh? Okay, so what she's talking about here with the botanical names and the common names, which you guys might know this, but some herbs have the same common names. So it can be very confusing. One plant is called something different in one area, one plant is called something different in another area too. So it's helpful when you're making sure you have the right plant, you're talking about the right plant, to use the botanical name so that everyone's on the same page. And then she's talking about, because at some point in history they changed the system that they did the naming. So that's what she's like, if they change it again, and then we'll be like, ah. So like you'll go around and they'll be like, well, they changed the name of this plant, they reclassified it. So it does happen occasionally now too. A common southwestern name for AUD. Oh my God. Okay, I can't pronounce this at all. So I'm going to write it. So you guys have it. So this is the kind of mugwort she's talking about. ATO. Yep. Oh, sorry, that's an L. Okay, so you always, the second word is always lowercase, and it's, the common name is, and then she says it's probably a Spanish corruption of the Aztecs. Aztec. Oh my God. Iztauhyatl. Yep. Which translates to some approximation of silver fragrant plant of water. Or, yeah, of water. By of water, it seems that the Aztecs meant that this plant cured what they thought of as illnesses caused by too much water in the body, such as epilepsy, leprosy, and gout. It is also sometimes referred to in Spanish as, here's the Spanish, yep. Oh. Ha, sorry, Elaine. I misspelled it. Okay, there's 3 Spanish ones. Okay. So it has many names, evidence of its renown in both Mexico and Southwest. Well used and beloved among the Mayan, they called it Zin. Oh my God. Here's the Mayan. Oops. What did I do? No. So that's the Mayan. And have their own cornucopia for uses for its leaves, flowers, and roots. Various artemisias are also known as silver sage, little sagebrush, prairie sagewort, western mugwort, California mugwort, and by countless other titles. So mugwort has a lot of common names, especially when you include like the ones in different languages. A trickster plant taking many forms. Those new to this shape-shifting beauty should forgive themselves any confusion in its identification. One of the first to come back in the spring are native Artemisia. So she's talking about the one that Elaine corrected me on. It's IALUDOVICIANA. So that's the one. That I think she has by her in Southwest. Pushes up fat, feathery green leaves that provide welcome change to a landscape of predominantly cacti and yucca. As it matures, it grows into a lanky silverleaf shrub that's almost lost among the bright flowers of May. It begins flowering around June. So ours doesn't flower until like the vulgaris until the fall. Unless what I thought were flowers were not flowers, but bearing inconspicuous yellow-green flowers on slim stalks. As the summer comes to its end, mugwort begins to stoop. Flower heads often bent nearly to the ground. By this time, the plant has taken on an even waifish appearance, and its leaves have mostly changed from several prolonged heads to several pointed lances. If not watched closely, it can be hard to tell these 3 stages as the same herb. Yet once we get to know this sometimes elegant, sometimes ragged little plant, we always recognize our grandmother sage. Does this mean that all their artemisias can be used interchangeably, do you think? I think it can. I think that's what she's saying. Usually if you can see Artemisia vulgaris, you can see, and then it has SPP or Artemisia SPP. It means that you can use all the species interchangeably. I'm trying to find a book that might tell me that. This one doesn't exactly. So let's see. This one doesn't. This is just vulgaris. I didn't even know that one grew out west, but I don't spend a lot of time in, in the western part of the country. Let's see. Mugworts. Oh, emmenagogue means helpful in the menstrual flow. I just. Also, Artemisia vulgaris. Maybe that's why I didn't know that there were like so many different mugworts, because all of my books are like Artemisia vulgaris, Artemisia vulgaris, and also like here's our awesome turmeric in a Rosemary Gladstar's book. Is that a mugwort in it? Take effective uses. This might not have marshmallow. Mullen. That's two beginners. I'm not finding it. We might have to look it up. Gosh. C G L A B C. Mugwort. Mugwort is often one of the herbs used in smudging, a ceremonial burning of herbs to uplift the spirit. This is from this book here, but this is from Herbal Healing for Women by Rosemary Gladstar, which is awesome. Oh, she talks about it a bit in this paragraph. Oh, okay, cool. I am not finding it. So let's see. Oh, okay. Well, we'll continue reading then. Summer. Wait, the next. You have that book. Wait, which paragraph? The one I was reading? Oh. I'll be speaking of the species I'm most familiar with. Okay. There are a great many other species, many of them native to or abundant in the American Southwest where I live, but I tend to use the ones that grow right here in my canyon home. Basically, the species I work with, the most moderate powder ones, not the extreme bitter extreme of sagebrush or wormwood, nor the eligible mildness of some coastal species or targon. Right smack in the middle, I find these species to be widely applicable in clinical use, and while their constituents overlap and vary in fascinating ways, they do tend to work in the same general way when it comes to the actions I referred to here. So she's talking about Artemisia vulgaris, which we are talking about, and then these species here. So these are all Artemisia species, and L-I-F-O-L-I-A and A. Yeah, I haven't read this section. Wasn't able to read ahead. Oh my god. Aye. That is a crazy one. So those are all the Artemisia. Oh, and A. vulgaris, which we which is in apparently all of my herb books. So all those species, she says that, are going to have similar actions. So page 49 is to drink a bitter brew, hepatic and digestive actions. So hepatic is talking about the liver, whenever you hear that word. Our liver likes to hold on to stuff. It's good to help it along. Mugwort is perhaps my personal favorite of the bitters. It's aromatic, intensely teaming up with a profoundly bitter taste for an effect on the gut that is both protective and stimulating. Especially good for when the digestive juices dry up due to stress and the belly shuts down, leaving all your food fermenting and churning in your gut. And then for a bitter to work, you have to taste the bitterness. So it's supposed to be bitter, and that's good. If you put something sweet over it and you won't taste the bitter, it won't work. So a lot of people, when they make digestive bitters, they'll pair it with, like, I've seen it paired with like an orange taste. Anyway, it's supposed to taste bitter. So, but once you taste it, it works. So you don't need a lot. It's like, bam, done, you're good. Also very useful to those with hepatitis and other manifestations of hot liveredness. Yes, I made that word up. Or gallbladder congestion that manifests as an inability to digest food, bloating, looking a bit greenish yellow around the gills with a frontal headache. Hello, Roman. Hello, welcome. Hello, Junebug, and everyone just about to take a nap, but wanted to drop by and say hello. How are you? Yes. Welcome. We're talking about mugworts. Woo! Woo! That's what we're doing. Most of us know that bitters stimulate the digestion, increase gastric juices to assist in the breaking down of food processes, and aromatic bitters such as the Artemisias excel at not only stimulating digestion but moving along stuck energy fluids, waste materials, and other stagnant elements. Because the intensity of bitterness tends to vary from species to species, it's useful to keep in mind that the more bitter the plant, the stronger a digestive stimulant it will be, and the more strongly aromatic the plant, the more active and energy mover it will be. Aww. I come on tonight for reads. I'll see if my nap gives me energy. All right, awesome. Have a good nap, Tinge. Woo. Yeah, if I see you on and I can watch, I will. I'll put you on. So, thanks for dropping by. Mugwort in particular also has a protective and cooling effect on the gut and liver, which can be useful for that evil, constipated, green in the face kind of malaise that plagues travelers. Going for a nap. Bye. Bye. This common ailment is especially troublesome for those tense from playing fast cars and other unnatural circumstances. I don't know how many times guests have asked me for laxatives, or sometimes to just help get things moving. But when they don't really want laxatives, because the Lord only knows when it's going to take effect. The simple answer for many people lies in the sweet simplicity of a good bitter formula. Gets the process going without overstimulating oh my gosh. It's this word, and I'm forgetting how to pronounce it. It's the word that this thing helps you poo, guys. We've gone into poo territory. Very important word. That's the thing you want. That's the action. And specifically, it's excellent for decongesting a blocked up nervous liver that just sits and twitches rather than flowing with enzymes and bile. It'll help get rid of that frontal headache and pukey feeling you've had for 2 days. And if you take it before and after meals, it'll also help move the food right along. I also carry a bottle of blended Artemisia tinctures with me whenever I leave the canyon. It keeps my oversensitive belly from becoming a dysfunctional basket case. I love her words there. Soothes nausea, eradicates nervous constipation, and calms acidity, all while moving stagnant energy and food. So that sounds awesome. So bitters are great, and it sounds like I can make myself a mugwort bitter. I have plenty of mugwort. The bitter I just eat some radicchio. Radicchio is this little tiny, it's expensive. It's like it looks like a red cabbage, but it's not. But it looks like this. It's about this big. Don't have a gallbladder. Right, so pansy, I don't know if this would be good for you to do or not. That's awesome. We're going to try the tea with no honey. Well, so you wouldn't get the bitter action, but you'd probably get the other kind of action because it does other stuff for the liver. But yeah, I would try it with no honey and see what you think. I don't have one either. Oh, okay. So but again, I don't know because Kendra is different from you, Pansy. Y'all are different. You have different circumstances. So, I mean, Pansy, you might want to try to look up an herbalist in your area. You know, because I know you also take some medications. I don't drink it every single day. Okay. So Kendra, you know, everyone is different. So that might be the best route to do. You can go on to the American Herbalist Guild page, and they have a list of practitioners in your area, which could be helpful in finding one, and a good one, because they're the only organization that does any kind of accreditation. I will put the link up. It's actually located in my town. Oh, Herbalism in Action, COVID-19. Just saw their splash page. Okay. So this is that. That's their main page. Yeah, let's see. Find a resident herbalist, registered herbalist, and we've got, okay, it's not letting me pick up. Why is it not letting me pick a state? Country is the United States. United Kingdom. No. Okay. Okay, there we go. So let me see. All right, I'm just seeing. Yeah, so there's 2. Pansy, I believe you're in Michigan, right? So there's 2. But I'll actually link the. Here's how you look it up. I just go to their website and check them out. They're the most reputable. I trust these guys. So, so the first link is their like main page, and then the second one is directly to how you find an herbalist in your area, a registered herbalist. They have to go through like, vetting, and they have to have so many hours and everything else. So they also have a COVID-19 research tab, which is cool. Yeah, got a bunch of stuff in here, a bunch of articles, and yeah, you can go crazy. They have so much. Oh my gosh, COVID-19 and integrative MD's common sense approach, pregnancy and breastfeed. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Anyway, on the page in the background. Okay, so I think I only saw 2 where you are, but I would just look at their websites to see. Maybe there's something in the state next to you. But yeah, that's a really good way to find an herbalist. Instead of looking up herbalists on Google and you don't know who you're getting and their experience, you don't know. So you have to have a certain number of hours, certain education, a certain, demonstration. So found 2 in my town. Awesome. So Kendra found 2 as well. So yeah, although Kendra, it sounds like that your herbal person is awesome. So yeah, it's always good to have more resources. I forget where it was. Oh yeah. We're gonna wrap up soon. Oh, it's a good resource. Yes. And Elaine, I don't know if they have any listed from the UK. So, but in your sense, I think herbalism is more integrated into the healthcare system. So you're probably going to have an easier time finding good herbalists. Can you share the link to your herb school again? I want to check it out. Oh, yeah. So since it's online, you could actually do it. Hold on. Yeah. So this is the herb school I went to. This is her. This is the teacher, Patricia Howell. This is the book she wrote. That's a passion flower, by the way. She's an excellent teacher. The class had a lot. The only issue I have with the class is a lot of information at once. So I had a real hard time with it. Plus, I was sick. I wasn't feeling well, and I didn't get to graduate because I had to drop out like before the test. But this book is fantastic. It's got like a harvest calendar, and but she's a fantastic teacher, she's great at explaining a lot of stuff, very practical. So yeah, so it's a lot online because of the pandemic, and so other people in the world can do it. It's it was not regularly an in-person hands-on class. But so yeah, It's like $2,000, so it's not. It's sort of mid-range. It's not like super. The most expensive one is $12,000, which I believe is a really good class. And then you have your little like day classes. When I started out, I took like a $600 little class. But it does really range. Yeah. And I had a relative gift me the money. That's how I was able to go. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to go and do it. And I believe that a lot of herbalism is best hands-on, but in this case, we have no choice. So a lot of the book information is so good anyway, so I think it'd be fantastic. Okay. I was fired up for that. Yes, I have a notebook this time to collect links so I can get back and look. Oh, awesome. So I'm trying to put a lot of links in the description below as we go along. So you'll see links for episodes. If we don't have a link in it, won't have it, but like I'll probably put these links in the description. So the links for episode 11, links for episode 10, and also if we had like a discussion question. So I'm trying to collect them. I'm sure I missed them or won't remember. So yeah, it's something you need to save up for. Yes, yeah. And also like the next thing I'm going to do is try to do a apprenticeship. So something that I can afford and something that I can do without like moving to somebody's land and working on it or something like that, because I can't do that, of course. But so yeah, and there's no financial aid, there's no any of that, no student loans, because they're not like in the college system. There's no college for it. And Elaine, you could probably go to a good herbal school that's like accredited and official. I'm assuming. I know they have them in England. I don't know much about Scotland, but I'm assuming that it has a similar system that you can possibly like become an actual real herbalist over there. And here you can't really. I mean, you can, but it's under the supplement vitamin umbrella. So do a weekend with Susan Weed. Oh yeah, I would love to do that. I unfortunately can't do that, but money, time, all that other stuff. But I would actually like to do one with Rosemary Gladstar. Do an apprenticeship with her. I don't know if she's doing them anymore though. But I'm hoping to try to find somebody local. And I still have Susan Weed's book to review. Oh my gosh. Anyway. Yeah, I think you can get a degree. Yes, you can, which I'm extremely jealous about. I think like you have less, it's more regulated over there than here, but it's more integrated. And yeah, like I think you need a prescription for St. John's wort or something. Yeah, that would be awesome. Right. So, I mean, my knowledge is kind of a little all over the place. So it's very schizophrenic. It's just yeah. I'm gonna finish this page and then we'll probably stop because it's almost 4:30 here. I've learned from my teacher, the late Michael Moore, to use the cold infusion of Artemisia for gastric ulcers, and really for most any chronic gastritis. As usual, he was right on, and I've treated many a client with long-term gastric ulcers very successfully with cold infusion, usually, but not always, in addition to lifestyle and dietary changes. The fact is, though, that it can help a great deal, even in old cowboys who drink too much whiskey and live off of gas station burritos and refuse to change a damn thing. I treated my own ulcer with the same bitter brew, alongside tissue healing herbs with equal success. Oh no, now we have to go over to the other. Okay, so we'll go over the other page a little bit. A side benefit, artemisias are also great at taking care of weird stomach bugs, diarrhea, and discomfort caused by unfamiliar water bacteria. In those cases, the stronger of the artemisias, the better, even including sagebrush and wormwood. All right, so next week we will pick up on page 51. But we did real good, man. We covered like 5 pages. Yep, page 51. The second paragraph starts with for all things hepatic and gastric related. So that's what we're gonna. We covered 5 pages. We were trucking. You talking? No wonder I was like get a sore throat because I just talked so much. I was like, I don't. Woohoo! Yeah, you did good. I think we're gonna finish it next week. Yeah, and then we can move on to Blue Mountain Tea, which is goldenrod. I believe so. Yep. Woo! Goldenrod only yeah. That one blooms in the fall. So that one's not yet. But anyway, so we'll probably finish up mugwort and go on to goldenrod. I'm gonna try to search for some food recipes for mugwort and post them on the Facebook group. And then I think I'll go over in the beginning this time next week the tincture sheet, because I didn't this time, but even though I said I would. Haha. Haha. So yeah, we'll read about menstrual cycles, diaphoretic, and mugwort and grief. Which probably could help me. All right. Well, guys, if you have any awesome mugwort, anything that you come across, post it to the Facebook group. And we'll finish up. If you're interested in any smoke sticks, let me know. I will try to list them in my shop. Ooh, these guys, these babies. So yeah, and they're different lanes. So I have to measure them all and list them up and everything else. So and I'll probably have little tiny ones. Fortunately, I can't mail these bad boys. Pansy's interested. Okay. So I'll send you. I'll put a link in the Facebook group when I've got it all. Yes. Kendra's interested. I can't mail these unfortunately because they're huge. Cool. Okay. So. All right. So that will be a job for next week. Yeah, the big one. I know. It's like I don't even know. So, I mean, it'd be fun to wholesale those, but everybody's closed right now. So, but we'll see. All right. So, thank you for hitting the like button or hit the like button if you haven't. And I hope everyone has a good day and night. And I talk to you guys next week. All right. Bye.